All right, so welcome to Why Rush Racing. This is Enduro Talk, and I'm Charlie Hawkins, and with me I have Russ Dirksen. Russ, how are you today?
Good.
Good. Did you find the place okay?
I did.
What direction did you come into the neighborhood?
Oh, off of Battlefield.
Oh, okay. So you took the curvy route to get in.
Yes.
All right.
Uh-huh.
This place is kind of a maze.
Very much so.
For the most part, Springfield's kind of a grid pattern, right? I mean, it's like north, south, east, west, and there's a few exceptions.
Not this
No. No, he had different plans, and from what my understanding, the fire department was not a fan
Oh yeah, I imagine
of
not.
this neighborhood when it was first built. Hopefully, they got it figured out now because I live here and I want them
Right.
to get my house if there's an event. But anyways, welcome to Why Rush Racing, and we are glad you guys are here doing a few things today. Obviously, Russ and you guys are here, and we're gonna have a great time. If you guys want to get even more involved, you can definitely leave comments on YouTube. You can leave comments on Facebook. I'm trying to watch the Facebook. If you're watching it on Facebook, you'll see it kind of the stream go by as it goes up. On YouTube, you'll see it or anywhere. If you type in, you will definitely see it on the on the screen if you type it in YouTube. So that's that. It's also on Spreaker Live if you want to watch it there. So there's lots of options. Or I'm sorry, if you want to listen to it on Spreaker, that's that. And the important thing
Never heard of it.
No, it's, I haven't either.
I'm old.
No, well, trust me, until I started searching for podcasting platforms, never heard of it. Okay. All I knew of podcasts was the podcast app on Apple. Like to me, that was podcasts. And I started, all right, how do I host a podcast? And there's other sites, and Spreaker's one of them. So this fact that you don't know it doesn't surprise me because I didn't either. And
All
so
right. I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah. So Jeremy, we are definitely going to get to the off-road cup race, Jeremy. But
Oh yeah.
I wasn't there personally, but that's why I said, I want a good storyteller, good talker, Russ here. So that's why he's here. But we will definitely be getting to that. But share the love, let people know about what's going on here. If you're on Facebook right now, just go ahead and share. Say, hey, check this out. Best thing on the internet right now is obviously this, right? Obviously, you're here, right? So that's what's going on.
I showered for this.
Oh, he doesn't shower often, so that's saying something,
No,
right?
it's optional now that I'm retired.
There you go. So anyways, that's what's going on. Lots of ways for you guys to interact. And so thank you for being here, and thank you for watching.
You are welcome.
Let's get to it. Russ, Doc, really, if you go to races and you say, where's Russ or Russell, they'll be like, who? Mm-hmm. And they say, well, Doc, where's Doc? You're like, oh, yeah, he's parked over there.
Yeah, right here. Doc.
Oh, he even says it on his little cup there. So I guess let's get that out of the way. I guess you said you're retired now.
Yes,
so,
recently retired.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. My professional career was as a podiatrist, and so I put a good 25 years into that, and then it stopped being fun. So I sold out and got back to what my roots are, which is motorcycles. So I'm really glad to be here.
So one thing, they have these questions and whatnot, and so when you're a doctor, did you work to live or live to work?
I work to live.
There you go.
I did not identify as a doctor. I identified as a motorcycle racer and rider that just, had to put some, money back for that kind of stuff.
And that's kind of the little I've gotten to know you over the past few years that I've been racing. That's kind of what the way the general gist that I got is this is a guy that loves dirt bikes. He loves being out. He loves being outside. And just you always had a great attitude about things. And so, anyways, it definitely I'm a live to or work to live, right? Mm-hmm. And just be out and have fun, right? And that's
absolutely
the weekends. Super looking forward to them every weekend.
Yes,
dirt bike
even
racing,
more so now.
Yeah, dirt bike racing or not, it's something that I'm looking forward to. So that's awesome. Congratulations on the retirement. Well, so what are you doing now? You have a lot of projects going on?
Oh my gosh. We have to digress back to why I ride motorcycles to start with.
Okay.
My dad got his first motorcycle. I think it was a Triumph Tiger Cub 200 when he was in the Navy in Hawaii. I know, rough duty, right? But the first picture of him on a motorcycle is wearing nothing but a pair of swim trunks on the beach in Hawaii, astride this Tiger Triumph. So that's where his infection started way back then.
Okay.
And then he rode club events and hare scrambles in Iowa while he was going to Iowa State University. And he actually started the Cyclone Cycle Club at Iowa State University way back in the late 60s. And my understanding is it's still in existence to this day. So he we lived in a trailer park and a trailer house, a single wide. But he had his commuter motorcycle, which he raced on the weekends, which was a 1966 Honda 305 Scrambler with the up pipe, so you could do that.
No, what? Sorry, you lost me. What's an up pipe?
The up pipe meant that all the bikes at that time all had the pipes down low that swept underneath the frame.
Yeah, kind of like modern day, like a Harley or something like that.
Yeah,
would.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, so how do you how do you do that when it's the 60s? So they came up with the Scrambler, which was radical for the time, and then after that. Even better was he got a 1968 250 Suzuki Savage. And we actually have a picture.
Hold on 1 second. Oscar, my 6-year-old's down here. What?
I'm hungry.
Okay. He's hungry. Oh, okay, you already brushed your teeth. Time to go to bed. What did you talk to Granny? What'd she say? She said no. Okay, you need to go upstairs and go back to bed, bud. Good night. Good night. Streams love you in the morning. Okay? Give Russ a high five.
Or Nux.
Give him Nux too. That'll work.
Nux. Yeah. See you, Oscar.
Good night, bud. All right. So let's pull that up.
I missed those days.
There. So let's get that a little bigger. So this is
Dave Dirksen.
Dave Dirksen.
He's responsible for my affliction. So yeah, there's him getting a pretty serious amount of air on a bike with about 4 inches to travel.
Yeah.
Still got his headlight on, open face helmet, wearing a pair of lace up work boots and a pair of jeans and just going for it.
Yeah. So no, that's and that's the Rambler you said, or what was that?
No, that was a Suzuki Savage.
Suzuki Savage.
It was a dual purpose. It was the competition to the Yamaha Enduro series.
Okay.
And so fast forward through my dad's college career, he got a degree in agricultural journalism, had to live in a city about the size of Springfield and just hated it. He just didn't like multiple lane roads. He grew up, actually his graduating class was 6 people.
Oh, wow.
So he's from a very small town. So he's like, I don't really like this, working for a living thing. And I really like motorcycles. And so he'd been talking to people at the races and happened to hook up with the Yamaha dealer rep. And next thing I knew, we were moving and we opened a Yamaha motorcycle dealership in February of 1972.
Oh, wow.
When I was 6 years old.
And where was that at?
This was in Iowa Falls, Iowa.
Okay. And what was the population of Iowa Falls?
At that time, it was probably about 6,500 people.
Okay. And it supported a dealership, and I guess
supported a dealership. A lot of the farming community would use the Enduros, and then a nice street bike contingency. And then what helped us the most was the gas crisis of 1973.
Oh, really?
So after we were in business, just not even a year, then all of a sudden the gas crunch hit, and we sold tons of motorcycles as a result. So the 70s were some very good years in the motorcycle business, and so I lived, ate, slept, and breathed motorcycles, particularly Yamaha, and really very biasedly Yamaha only.
Yeah.
For the longest time. So, some of those that knew me as a kid probably were shocked that I even purchased a Honda when I kind of got back into riding here in 2007.
Okay.
So
why'd you go Honda at the time?
Well, because my budget said the CRF 250X was the better deal for the money than a WR because the suspension was better.
Huh. Okay.
But now that's changed.
Yes.
Those new WRs are awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, how old were you when your father opened up the dealership?
So I was 6 years old. So my first bike was a 1972 JT2 MX, which is a 60cc Enduro.
Huh.
And I got just tons of seat time as a kid. I'm not like what you would think where, okay, my dad's the dealer and we went racing all the time. And, I have all this history. I had a ton of seat time riding because I took the bus to the dealership after school. I didn't go home. I went to the dealership and I did my chores, which whether it was filling the pop machine, I'm a Yankee, or the oil shelves, because there's a lot of two strokes on the road back then. So your Enduros and your RD350s and 400s all needed two stroke oil. So guys were in all the time buying that and need to be restocked and get the shop swept up and then go ride my bike. Just hours and hours and hours and hours of riding.
So at what point did you start racing? Or did you ever get real heavy into racing, or were you always just kind of riding?
No, I did my first race in the fall of 1973. I still had that 60. They'd already come out with the GT80s, so I wasn't really much competition for those 80s.
Okay.
But then I think just the busyness of being in the business, and Sunday being the only day off for my parents, it was really hard to have them say, okay, well, we're going to take our only day off and go
they didn't
race.
They worked Mondays then too.
Yeah, Monday through Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so long hours. And for that reason, I probably raced a couple times a year, maybe.
Okay.
But I always had a new bike.
Yeah.
That's the best part. I think 5 or 6 YZ80s. It was just, I'd have one for a while and then somebody'd come along and want a deal and Dad'd sell it and I'd just go get something else from the showroom floor.
Huh.
That's also why I ended up with not only one, but 2 TY80s, the 1974 version, the trials bike, because they weren't very marketable.
Oh, really?
No. Oh. It's like a kid's bike, but a trials bike. And, the shifter was a mile away from the peg.
Oh, really?
And so you had to take your foot off the foot peg to shift it. And so there was a crate of 2 and I owned both of them. And when my buddy and his brother came in, they bought the used one that had been riding and I went and started riding the new one.
Huh. So how'd you end up here down in Springfield?
Because of my medical career, I basically, wanted to stay in the Midwest. I went to podiatry school in Des Moines, and then I did my residency in the Twin Cities and worked briefly in Iowa for less than a year before finding out about just a fledgling practice that was less than a year old that one of my classmates had started. And he was putting it up for sale for not too much money because he just got the doors open. So I basically drove down here, took a look around, and said, I'll take it. The weather seemed better, and I've been in love with the Missouri Ozarks ever since. Yeah. From the standpoint of motorcycle riding. I mean, it's just so much more places to ride. Street bikes, curvy roads. I mean, in Iowa, everything's a grid.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember, having a crotch rocket back in the day, and I would do the clover leaves on purpose just so I could lean and get some curves in, because that was really the only way to do it.
Yeah.
But down here, it's just awesome. You can just rip down to Peel Ferry and do that thing on 125. There's all kinds of great roads in Arkansas. But this is a dirt bike show, so you got Chadwick and there's a lot of places to ride.
Do you ever go to Hardwood? Are you a member of Hardwood Hills?
I am.
Yeah. So
yes, it's great. It's just all unmolested single track. So unlike Chadwick, it doesn't have the 4-wheeler width. But Chadwick's made some modifications to that north end, and I can't take this as gospel, but I heard that I think that north end that burned is open.
It's open now.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it opened up yesterday.
Yeah, so all you guys wanting to know, Chadwick's back open. Whole deal.
It is.
Go.
North and south. Yes.
Ride.
Because I enjoy the north side. The north side's the single track side.
Right. And that was a recent change. They didn't always used to be that
relatively
way.
recent. Yeah. To me, it's always been like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Since I'm recent. But no, yeah, and it's kind of growing. The trails, when I first started racing, they're still pretty wide, but now they're starting to kind of grow to motorcycle width. And
yes, which is nice.
It's the way I like it.
A nice change.
Sometimes I'm out there on the quad trails or whatnot, or the normal main trails, and I'm going like, I'm in third gear, going way too fast. I don't know what's around the next corner. Somebody's coming around the other way,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, slow down. That's why I tend to ride Chadwick more in the wintertime. Leaves are on the ground. You can see further. You can hear a little better.
Very much so.
And then in the summertime, I tend to find myself more in the hardwood hills where there's just less traffic.
Yes.
So
agreed.
But yeah. And then, so I know I've done it once. How often, because foot injuries are probably relatively common, I would say, in dirt bike racing.
Yes.
What percentage of races do you get somebody like, hey, can you help me with my foot here? I smashed it.
Let's see. I can think of probably 3 or 4 people just in the last month.
Within the last month at races, or just call you up?
No, they just hit me up.
Yeah, because I know, like, for me,
won't mention any names.
Yeah, well, because I know Aaron. I did. Oh, Aaron? Oh no. Oh, is this from? Yeah. Oh yeah, he got smashed at the off-road cup, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't really ask for any advice.
Yeah,
but I feel his pain.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, somebody was lapping him or passing him and kind of smashed him to his side.
A little closer than he thought, I think.
No, but because it happened to me, and I got my X-rays, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Can you make sure we're not completely off base here? And
yes. I do still have my license. I am retired, but dirt bike people,
But I get a kick out of that, and I know, like, I guess you and Bob has mentioned or came to you for some guidance at one point. I heard him talking to you about it at the last race, that up at Bolivar, and because he recently he smashed his foot, and it's just kind of, it seems like lower leg injuries are the most common thing to happen. And knees, obviously you're not a knee doctor, but I think you get more the foot, and I just get a kick out of it. And it just seems like every time I'm around, like when I pit next to you, there's somebody asking you, know? And
yeah, like, inevitably it happens.
That's why I asked you before the show, like, do you even want to bring it up?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just part of the brotherhood, Yeah. I mean, other guys have other skills that I need help with and other things that I don't know how to do. So, I'm glad to help out the way that they're glad to help out. And that's the cool thing about the off-road community.
Yeah. So you've done, so when did you start racing here in the Springfield area, the Missouri area?
I got back in very briefly thinking I was going to do motocross because I'd never done hare scrambles, believe it or not, even though I'd ridden Chadwick for years. My 44th birthday, I took my CRF 250X out to Possum, which was at the time called Eagle's Roost, and it had rained like 2 inches the day before.
Okay.
And it was a total med fest, and it was actually my first time ever videoing a race also with the old
oh, really?
Contour camera.
Okay.
And so it was very muddy, and somehow I got the lens turned. And so all my friends that watched it, this is the early days of not having a lot of content out there as far as YouTube and what have
absolutely.
You. And so sent it to my buddies, and they were all having to, watch it like this because I had rotated the lens accidentally. So that was June 14th of 2007.
So wait, you said June 14th.
Yes.
Why do you know the date?
It was my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
44th birthday.
My 44th birthday.
There you go.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to race on their birthday,
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that, and then I did one race at Legends or Radical Robs for the old timers in the Barkbuster class, I think.
So you kind of got back into racing, though. I mean,
But as
dealership?
far as getting back into hare scrambles, it was December of 2012. It was at
really?
Eagle Ranch,
Huh.
and Dirt Bikes Unlimited was sponsoring the race, and
Speaking of that, this is the shirt.
yeah, spent most of the day there today tearing apart a motor. Thanks, Bob. And so he was sponsoring the race. The family was out of town, and I'm like, I'm gonna go try this out, and it was instant. It was like, why did I wait so long
Yeah, and
to try this?
so I'm just curious. So you started, and so that how you were?
So no, it was let's see. So 2012, I would have been 47.
Okay, so you were no young buck by any means.
No, I was already, I raced. I entered the C plus 45 class having no idea.
So I did mine when I was 33, so that's pretty young compared to you. And I was totally wiped. I mean, like I got done with the race and I'm just laying there, how after that first race, how wiped were you? I mean, how did you feel? Or were you? You kind of
I think I wasn't in too terrible shape at the time, and I don't remember being particularly tired.
No. Wow.
More so than just frustrated with the learning curve and learning to deal with traffic. And I just, for me, traffic was just never a factor, before in my life. And I have to give some credit to Mike Pierce. He was also one of the early GoPro guys that would post his stuff on, I think it was just on Facebook or on the Hillbilly site, because a lot of us used to go to the Hillbilly page, and then he'd post some videos. And after I watched those for about a season, I'm like, well, heck, I can do this.
Yeah.
And so the interest just kept growing and growing. And then some things transpired in my personal life. I'm just like, I'm getting a motorcycle and I'm going to ride it. I'm not just going to look at it sitting in my garage.
Absolutely.
So yeah, January 07 is when I bought the bike that put me where I am today.
Awesome. Yeah, because I just remember seeing that my first race, and I see people, and like people were still kind of riding around afterwards. I'm like, how are they doing that? Like, it's just crazy. Just going to your first race and just having that experience, and awesome. Yeah. And so I thought you'd been racing longer than that, but no.
So I raced a little bit as a kid. Like I said, I have a ton of seat time.
But 2007 or 2012 was when you actually started
2000,
racing.
Yeah, so I rode Chadwick, a good number of years, and then some, a lot less frequently, even way back in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Has it all been hare scrambles, or did you do any enduros as well?
The only enduros I've done has just been the HHRs.
Oh, okay.
One through the Arkansas series.
Yeah. Cool.
But again, recently retired, so my options become more open.
I'm going to Texas this week, and I got a spare spot in the trailer.
Believe you me, I have so many invitations to do all these different things, and wanting to restore bikes and wanting to do vintage motocross, and I just like, and then it's like, oh, street bikes, and yeah.
A lot of squirrels out there.
A lot of squirrels out there, and a lot of them have two wheels at the root of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. So this past winter, did you compete in most of the hillbilly races, or how did it go for you?
No, I actually was a very casual participant this year. I wasn't in any kind of shape. I knew I was going to miss.
I saw you. You were at Kilburn Woods.
I actually made all but the first two.
Woods.
I missed the 100-miler, and I missed the first. No, I did go to Lose.
I thought you were at Lose,
but then I missed two there in the middle, and then it just so worked out that I was able to do the rest of them.
Okay.
I just my conditioning wasn't where it needed to be.
Yeah.
And so I was there more just to
have fun.
Just I had to see my peeps, you know. That's a lot of it, 2018 was a tough year for me, and I didn't get out much, and so, I had to get back and see my peeps.
There you go. So, with that, I want to say MX Guru, thank you very much. You said you smashed that like button, and thank you. Also, if you're watching this now, share it. Go ahead and hit that share button. Do whatever. Text your friends. Say, hey, Wire Rush Racing, Enduro Talk's on right now. Come check it out. It's a good time. And then we got a few comments on Facebook. I just want to say David Dance, he says, Doc has his shirt on right. Did you put your shirt on wrong recently, or do you know what he's talking about?
Yes. I had a shirt like that on, only I put it on backwards because I made it on the podium for the Off-Road Cup.
There you go.
So, I had to give a shout out to Bob because he gives me all the good deals on parts and stuff.
Because you got this, if you're watching, you see this little emblem. Sorry, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's much bigger on the back here. See? So.
Yeah.
That's the genesis behind that. So that makes complete sense why you would obviously wear a shirt backwards. It's like, why would you wear goggles around your neck after you're done racing, right? Well, it's because they want to say, hey, I'm wearing 100% goggles, or, it's completely impractical, but.
Well, just like they win the championship, all of a sudden there's this jersey that's got this giant number 1 on the front of it. It's just like, just in case, while he's ready.
Yeah. So that's David. Oh, Mark Schaefer. He agrees that HHR is the bomb. Yes, it is, Mark. Let us know when you're coming down. We'll join you.
Yeah, I still owe you a beer, Mark.
Uh-oh. And then, do you know Michaela Haynes? She says precious. I'm not sure what that was referring to, but do appreciate it. Anyway, so yeah, if you got a comment on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and leave it there. Go ahead and share with your friends, and let's get more people watching this. So thank you.
Hey, shout out to Sleepy. I saw that you're watching.
Yes, Sleepy. Thank you. Yeah, we got quite a few people watching here. Jacob, hope your neck is feeling better, by the way. Jacob, saw that on Facebook. Not fun. But yeah, so it's awesome. The people we got watching, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so we had a lot of crazy races this past winter. What's the kind of the most crazy moment that happened for you, or the most interesting thing that happened in one of the races?
Well, I think anybody that went to the Wise of Dairy Farms Westphalia race.
The icy mutter, you mean?
Oh my gosh. Just rutted, and it was just so easy to cross the rut and nothing moved. It was just snot on top of ice.
Yes.
And yeah. So talk about using all your core.
Oh man.
It was just stupid amounts of slippery.
And there was one spot. There was this. So let me think. Yeah, this field section had like the 2 terraces in it. Your left hand, and then you make a hard right up this little alleyway, and then a left into the woods. There was that mud mound.
Yeah, looked like a super easy.
There's a nice little rut there. Like, I get your front wheel in that and just go up it. I did it great. I think was it 4 laps I did. The first 2 laps went fine.
Yeah, as long as you had momentum.
No.
No.
First 2, I'm still had momentum going up it just fine, no problems. Third time around, it lays me flat. I mean, boom. Like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's at the beginning of Sleepy's video, if you look at his video from the race. So perfect editing on that one, Sleepy, because that shows exactly how slippery it was, because he's riding along, all of a sudden, boom, you're just down. It happened to me 1 lap.
And then, so the next lap, I'm coming around, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to hit this and get kind of squared up and just keep going, right? Boom, down. I mean, like, fast. And it's so frustrating, the second time especially, because I was expecting it. I thought I prepared for it, and it still bit me. And I'm like,
right.
What is going on?
Yeah.
And yeah, so there was many other situations like that where, there was one time where I was following a kid, and there was this ice rut around the corner. This is kind of near scoring, but like, kind of like a third of a lap later. Not too far after the starting line. When you come back into the woods.
Yeah.
And I'm like following this kid. I'm like, oh, I know I'm going to have a passing opportunity because he's going to run off into the woods or off the trail. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, just you didn't have to wait long if you were behind anybody, because whether they were trying to get out of the way or not, they were probably going down. And the times that they weren't going down, we were going down.
Yeah, it was,
because I was all kinds of sideways. I remember the beginning of the race. It was early in the race, of course, when everybody's all bunched up, and I'm like sideways blocking everybody. And I was in BVET, and the B45 guys go by, and they're like, "You okay?" I'm just like,
"No."
Yeah, it's like, I'm fine. I just can't get my bike out of the way.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a very memorable race.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just like skating rink. You'd be going along, and all of a sudden it's just like you're sideways, and you got your outriggers out, and you're just trying everything to save it. And sometimes it works, and sometimes you whack into a tree, and of course everything's happening at like 2 miles an hour, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I would say though that there was a lot of, like, this past winter in general was a very memorable series. Like, there was no 100 miler was primo conditions. Lou's place was very good conditions.
Yeah.
I'd say the other 4 races probably were not. They were wet. So now I'm looking at races that aren't blackjack races. I'm like, is it going to be muddy? Yeah. I think I'm going to stay home this weekend because I'm kind of mudded out right now.
Yeah.
But so
I actually like mud. I go faster in the mud.
it's the when I get home, it's just a whole lot more cleaning.
Oh, well, yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I just, yeah.
But no, I tend to race well because I think it's because we have long legs. We're tall, and I can ski a little better.
Right. Yep.
Whereas the
Paddling
little shorter people, they
helps.
have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have that advantage, unfortunately.
However, for you that are still learning, keep your feet on the foot pegs because that's what keeps the traction to the ground.
That is true.
In mud, do not paddle.
And you can,
even if you see me doing it, don't do it.
Shift your weight a lot better. Yes.
Yeah.
No, actually, that's what I had to do. You just had to stand a lot more at Louis, the icy mudder. You had to stand a lot more to kind of, I'm riding like, well, you guys can't see it, but like my bike's on to the right, I'm leaning to the left.
Oh yeah, tons of body English.
Because it just, you're moving, you're like a little
English.
pendulum up there, moving around, trying to keep your bike straight and level. All right, so coming up this weekend is the National Enduro Cajun Classic. Do you follow the national scene on that at all?
I have not, other than just some of the people that I know from Facebook and Instagram that post their stuff and their plans and what have you. So
I know I have plenty of locals down there. I forget what rows people are on, but I know locally we'll have. I'm pretty sure Cole's going to be on there. Usually we'll have Nathan, Noah, and Travis. So we'll talk about them pretty shortly here in the Off-Road Cup. They kind of did really well.
Kind of.
Yeah, just a little.
Kind of well.
Oh, Huck still has a broken. Huck Jenkins out of St. Louis area. I think he still has a broken wrist.
Yeah, he's out for a little while yet.
Dang it. So, and then Taylor Bonecutter will probably be, I'm not sure what row, but she'll be down there racing in the women's elite. And then there's Logan Lowery. So, Logan, if you're, let's call him here in a bit and just catch up with him and see what's going on. So, Logan, if you're watching, we're calling you, bud. And then take this opportunity, too, to say, hey, share this again. Let people know what's going on. And I'd like to have as many eyes and ears on Logan. Logan Lowery, this is Charlie Hawkins. How are you doing today, bud?
I've been better for sure. I've seen better days, but I'm making it through.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. And then just so you know, I'm here with Russ Dirksen.
Doc.
Or also known as Doc. So,
you're almost an Iowa boy, right? I can't remember which side of the border you live on, Logan.
Yeah. So I'm in Trenton, Missouri, which is basically the second county from the top of Missouri.
So you're in there a little bit, but a lot flatter up there.
Yes, for sure.
So Logan, I went to a school with a guy from Iowa here near Des Moines, and you probably heard this joke before, but do you know why all the corn in the South or corn in Iowa leans to the South?
I don't know. No.
I haven't heard this one either.
Oh no,
no,
because Missouri sucks.
Oh,
so I'm surprised you don't say that to joke to anybody, Russ.
I've spent just as much of my life in Iowa as I have in Missouri, so I'm Switzerland on that one.
But no, I've never I haven't gotten to good comeback for him on that one yet. But I thought it was an excellent joke. So, anyways, I get a kick out of it.
The one for Iowa is idiots out wandering around.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, that's the acronym for it. Yeah, makes sense. So, Logan, you are, well, I guess we'll get into this more in a minute, but you are a GNCC X3 racer and the NEPG Pro 2 and racing for XC Gear Enduro Engineering as part of Husqvarna USA. Is that all that correct?
Yes. Yep.
And then, but unfortunately, your team has had a bit of an injury issue this past spring, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. We have 2 riders on the team, myself and my teammate Jake Froman, and we're currently out with injury right now.
Yeah. So what happened with you?
Yeah, so for me, it was like this is the Thursday before Sumter, and we were going out to ride, and it was going to be basically like my last day of hard riding that week.
So this
I
would have
had
been
one.
about, this is Sumter. So you're talking about like, what, 2.5, 3 months ago?
Yes, this would be January 30th.
Okay.
So yeah, we just went out to ride. I mean, I was feeling pretty solid throughout my moto, and it was just kind of a freak incident. The berm was getting blown out a little bit, and there was a stump to the outside of it, and I just got on the gas a little bit too hard, and the rear tire basically caught that stump, and it kind of just kicked the rear end up at a really weird angle, and it just drove me into the ground on my left shoulder pretty much as hard as you could imagine. And as soon as I hit, like I got up, and I could feel basically like a huge lump in front of my shoulder, and my arm wasn't like going up at that point or anything like that. So I knew something was wrong. And I mean, yeah, luckily Evan Smith was there, and he'd kind of been through the injury. And at first I thought my shoulder was dislocated. And honestly, the scariest part of the whole situation is I knew I was hurt, and like I couldn't raise my arm, but I wasn't in any pain. It was like it was the wildest thing. And he's like, well, if you're not in any pain, the shoulder's not out. And luckily Nate Rector was with me that day, and we ended up going to the hospital and getting it x-rayed. And that was kind of probably the scariest part of the whole situation is they x-rayed it, and then the doctor kind of came in and kind of was like looking at it, like didn't really know what to say. And I ended up having like 3 different doctors come in there and look at it, like kind of trying to figure out what was going on. And I really wasn't getting any answers. And I kind of like left there, and like they really didn't give me anything. Like they kind of put it in a sling, and they're going to send me to another doctor there in South Carolina the next morning. So luckily I went there, and he looked at the x-rays and stuff. And I mean, the guy had been through the injury before. I mean, he'd done a lot of surgeries and stuff like that. And he kind of came in and started immediately talking about the injury and different surgeries. And I'm like, whoa, hold on, man. Like, I'm going to need surgery on this. And he's like, well, you could go either way with it. It's a 3rd-degree AC separation.
Yes.
So basically, you can go to therapy, and you always have like that bump there in my shoulder, and it'll still get back to 100%, or you can do a surgery and fix it to where it looks cosmetically right. So then at that point,
So is the lump visible, or you could just feel it?
oh no, the lump's visible. I mean, it's
they're
there.
very visible.
And what is the lump?
It's
So the lump's basically the bone sticking out of like my AC joint. And basically a simple way to explain it is there's 3 tendons in that AC joint. And when I did the 3rd-degree separation, I didn't get an MRI. So they didn't know about the tendons exactly, but I for sure had one there. The 2nd tendon was probably in bad shape, and then the 3rd tendon was definitely gone.
Oh, wow.
ooh, yeah, that's a definite surgery. Then
Well, because so we got part 2 coming up here pretty soon, I have a feeling.
Yeah, there's a part 2. And so then I immediately was going to go home because I was going to do therapy at home, and I needed to go to a doctor there at home and get him to prescribe the physical therapy for me. And I wasn't that worried at that point because, like I said, Evan had been through the injury, and Brock French and Andrew Smith are currently out there riding, with the 3rd-degree AC separations, and they've been going for years without problems. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get this thing healed up, and I'll be good. And therapy was supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks. And my physical therapist was absolutely awesome. Like as soon as I came in there, within the first few days, she had me doing like 45 minutes twice a day. So every day I was doing like an hour and a half of physical therapy with that shoulder, and it definitely hurt. But I mean, I was seeing and everything was really coming around well. And I was kind of when I could come back. And at first I thought I wouldn't be back till Florida National Enduro, and then things were coming along faster. And then I kind of came in there one day, and she's like, yeah, I mean, I think you're ready to get cleared to ride again. And that was another tough thing, is I was at home and the ground was frozen, so I wasn't able to go out and practice or anything. So the Thursday before the 2nd round of the Full Gas Enduro series, which I was supposed to be running that series this year, I went down to Nate Rector's house and rode with him. And I really didn't have a ton of plan to go to the Full Gas Enduro. Like I was going to have to feel great if I was going to go. And I went down there and I felt pretty good. I mean, the hardest part was getting those muscles to relax. Like it was just, I could not get those muscles in that shoulder to relax and like really be free and allow me to ride. But I'm like, well, it's a full gas enduro, I only have to hold on for 10 minutes at a time. If I can go down there and get, some decent points, then I won't be out of the championship. So we ended up going, and yeah, it was basically like a dream situation. I was killing it. I had like a pretty good lead, and I mean, it was really, really nasty mutter, but I was being smart, and then I just made a mistake, and I got sucked into a rut and got stuck, and I lost a whole bunch of time on the weekend, and I ended up not getting the result I was after, but that was tough. And then, I mean, we go on, and yeah, I just kind of struggled after that with my results.
So, what's the current status on your shoulder, Logan?
Yeah, so like I said, I kind of struggled my way through, and then I was having another good ride at the third round of the full gas enduros, and it was the second test of Sunday, and I had lost the first day by 1.6 seconds, and I was like 12 seconds down on Sunday, and 12 seconds is a lot at a full gas enduro. I was doing really well in the cross test, and I believed I could make up that time, and I felt like I had a good solid test going, and I was probably a quarter of the way into it, and there was straightaway with some like rocks in it sticking out of the ground, and I just went to like shift up to fourth gear as I hit these rocks, and when I landed, I was going to be really hard on the gas into just a slight right-hand corner that I was going to stand through, and then it'd be like straight into a slick left. And basically when I got on the gas, I just kind of felt the bike start to slide out the front wheel, and it was like one of those situations I was totally caught off guard. I didn't expect that to happen at all, and I ended up sliding the bike down, and my bottom leg was underneath it, and the way I was sliding, I was going to like really hit my head on a tree like really hard. So I went to like do kind of a twist to get around that tree, and I was able to get around the tree with my head and everything, but then when I hit the ground, it ripped my shoulder apart the rest of the way. And yeah, I also my ACL and MCL in the crash, and I also separated the shoulder to the 5th degree.
Yeah. So have you had surgery yet?
Yeah. So after that, like after I hit, I got up, and I kind of knew my season was over. I came home, and I went to the doctor, and I got the MRI scheduled, and I went and I got the MRI, and I just talked to the doctor yesterday, and the shoulder's going to require surgery, and I've looked into that. But yeah, I mean, surgery's coming up. I mean, hopefully I can get it within the next couple weeks. It hasn't been scheduled yet. I'm going to go see another doctor to more kind of focus on the knee, because right now we're trying to avoid surgery on the knee, hopefully, and they have me in a brace. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely concerned. I don't want to have a weak knee, and then when I come back from the shoulder, blow the knee the rest of the way apart and have to repair the knee, because the knee's a tough situation because the MCL is torn, and the ACL, I mean, at first they told me it was torn, but it just has like a tear in it. So they're hoping with some physical therapy with it and working with it that it'll heal back.
Yeah, that is possible. So you had a reconstruction then on your shoulder and had that muscle reattached?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the goal of surgery. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to go through and they're going to drill a hole in the collarbone, and then kind of the bone beneath it, and then they're going to basically cinch it together with a cable. And then he's also planning on doing like a cadaver tendon in that shoulder as well to kind of hold it together and hopefully avoid this from happening again.
Yeah, it'll certainly make it a lot more stable, but injuries do occur. I had a first degree separation back in 1988, and of course I ignored the doctor's advice and just went ahead and did what I wanted to, which wasn't a lot of riding and racing at that time. But all these years later, then when I was had young kids, and I noticed that I could only throw the ball about 3 times, then my shoulder hurt too much to keep doing it, and I went and got it checked out, and sure enough, the old separation, even though it was mild, had created just enough of a wear spot when I would lift my arm that I was getting some potential tears to my rotator cuff. And so the surgery was just to go in there and knock the knob off the end of it so that it wouldn't wear on it. And that turned out great. So the time between injury and repair was, 1988 to 2007.
Oh,
So
just a few years.
it will come back and haunt you for you guys that don't get those fixed. And mine was just a first degree.
Yeah. Huh. So Logan, then I guess you obviously your season's kind of kaput now as far as chasing championships and whatnot goes. What's your time frame for getting back healthy and getting back to where you start working on your fitness and riding the bike again?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'm just thankful that I'm able to get on a stationary bike right now and move my legs. I mean, it's been a miserable 2 weeks just kind of
So
laying there, and I can't do anything.
So you can get on a stationary and do something with your lower body?
Yeah, at least get your legs and your cardio. Keep that up.
Yeah, I'm fortunate because, like I said, after the MRI came back, they called me and said, don't move that knee, get it stabilized. If you move it, you're going to do more damage to cartilage. And luckily I went to the doctor, and he was kind of talking through it, and I'm like, well, can I get on a stationary bike? And he's like, oh yes, I'd recommend it. So
Oh, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Use what you can.
But you don't know this at this point, I guess, the recovery time for your shoulder then?
yeah, I mean, it's looking at like, I know it's like 6 months is kind of
That
logical.
that is kind of the number.
Oh man. So
I've been there. I've had both my shoulders done, and the worst one was on the right. I had a complete dislocation and a complete rotator cuff rupture, and it took 6 anchors for him to put it back together. So, that's at least 6 months. Fortunately, Logan, you have youth on your side. I had to do mine when I was 40 something.
Yeah. So Logan, this was your second season riding. I guess for Husqvarna. Last year it was Air Group. That I guess that kind of transformed into XC Gear Enduro Engineering. Is that right? Kind of the same structure of team and everything like that, just different name.
Yeah, so basically Jack at our group pulled out, and then luckily Lance Smith signed for the main sponsor spot on the team. And as far as mechanics and team managers and stuff, it's the exact same as last year.
Okay. And so last year it was your first time at that level of competition, having that kind of commitment to the sport, right? And I understand that you got kind of injured pretty early in the year, but did you develop and learn quite a bit and transfer that into your second year, or what's some of the big things you learned, I guess, from obviously 2 years ago, you and your dad were roaming around the country, chasing races, to what you've learned last year and then what you were carrying into this year. Can you what some of the things you learned, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely basically learned how to work for an employer. I've kind of always worked for my dad on the farm and stuff like this. So now I have an employer, and that was different. And
So how do you like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, I know you're kind of coming into, what's the difference between riding for a team and working for my dad. And basically, riding for a team brings a lot of pressure because then you have sponsors that are going to be notified every single weekend how you're doing by race reports. And you go to the race and you're on pro row and everybody's looking at you, and you sign an autograph here and there. And you're kind of a superstar in a way, but like with that carries a lot of pressure. And when I go to a race, whether it's local or national enduro, like everybody wants to beat me. Like, if we can beat that guy, we're doing something. So
Yep, you're the target.
I try to beat you every time I race you. I won't lie. Just I'd probably be close if I didn't have to give you a 5-minute head start. But no.
Well, no. My personal experience is I just wait for him to lap me, and then I just try to hang with him, and it lasts usually about 20 seconds.
Oh, 20? I'm about 10. But yeah. So. No, I that's true, Logan. I guess there's a lot of pressure because it's a job, to a big degree. And so is that what I mean? Was that pretty much that was what you were doing? You weren't working at helping your dad or anything like that still, or having another job? That you were dirt bike focused?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, in my first year, I was just coming out of high school and I was going to be going into my first year of college, and I was still kind of focused on that. So I went ahead and did a full year college while I was racing. And yeah, I mean, I got it done and everything like that. And then as you probably saw from results, I was doing really well at the end of 2018, and coming into 2019, I'm like, man, if I'm going to make this happen, I got to do it. So, I took college off, and I was really focusing on the racing. And like last summer, I moved, I left home and I went down to Evan Smith's house and lived with him and rode with him. And that was really, it's weird to say, but like that was my first time really riding with other people, practicing day in and day out, and definitely at that level. And then like this winter, I went down to Stu Baylor's place and rode and trained down there all winter. And yeah, I mean, I was ultra excited because every year up till this year during the winter, I was always struggling with, winter weather conditions and frozen ground. So I was coming into the season prepared. It was the first time I was ever going to come into Sumter prepared, and I was really excited to show everyone what I could do this year. But luckily, I mean, unfortunately, my plans got destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
There will be other years.
Yes, for sure. I thought it was pretty cool too. You and Noah and Nate all got together. I forget where that was. Was it South Carolina?
Yes.
Where you guys were riding together? And I got it. So Noah Clark 32 on YouTube, you can find it there. It was a video where the three of you are kind of riding around. And I want to know, did Nate ever get an opportunity to ride your bike?
Yeah. I mean, I let Noah, Nate, and Travis all ride it.
Oh, they did? Okay. Because I was watching the video and because Nate kept asking you can I ride your bike? You're like, nope. nope. And I was expecting almost a clip of Nate just like sprinting up to your trailer and like jumping on your bike and just riding off, kind of like Smokey and the Bandit style or something, but never happened. So I was like, did he ever get on Logan's bike?
So I guess you're contractually obligated not to let people ride your bike, I'm assuming, Logan.
I mean, not really, but it's my practice bike, so like, if I let somebody destroy it or something, like that's not good.
Yeah. No, that I got a kick. That was a good video. It kind of is a neat little insight into you and just kind of what you guys get to do on a somewhat regular basis. And so are you helping? I saw on Instagram you posted a video you falling. I'm assuming it was your dad or somebody on a cedar. It looked like, or is it a disc? You were on a quad. So are you helping back on the farm for now, or what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I came home, I was able to get out and I worked the ground for my dad, and then I was just following him in the planter, making sure we weren't spilling any corn or anything on the ground. So I was helping plant corn, and I'm also helping doing kind of the bills and the book work around the house to just kind of keep my mind busy right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oscar, you want to come say hi to Logan? He's on the phone. I got Oscar here. He's not supposed to be up, but he's up. Here, Oscar, you can't say hi to Logan. Say hi, Logan.
Hi, Logan.
So, Oscar, what's up, bud? Okay, I'll be up in a minute, okay? Going upstairs, bud. Sorry. So, let's see here. Okay, so the Cajun Classic's coming up this weekend. Can you kind of give us a preview of kind of what the race conditions, what kind of track that is, and then with the weather we're getting, what do you think that's going to turn into? Will it be a kind of a mutter or just what? Can you kind of give us a little insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It could be perfect. It could be dry, or it could be a disaster, because when 2016 was my first ever Enduro, and it happened to be Louisiana, and I went down there and I was on row 74, like way back, and I didn't really expect to do that well, and I ended up getting 25th overall. So like I was pumped on that. I mean, the track was awesome. It's kind of like a hard pack sand, like a little bit of sand with clay underneath, so you can really kind of slide the bike around, and it's also like awesome trail. Like the Acadia dirt riders do an amazing job. Every time I've been there, there's been no problem with trail marking or anything sketchy or anything like that. And then when I went in 2017, it was the year that like it just rained a ton right before the race, and it was super muddy, and I didn't think it was going to be super soft because of how hard packed it kind of was underneath the sand the year before. But I mean, the bottom completely fell out of the place, and it went completely bottomless, and it really turned into a disaster. I mean, tests got cut short and people were stuck everywhere. And I mean, I was on row 26 that day, I think, and like, I mean, it was a struggle to make through that spots, just like bikes everywhere, and I think we only ended up doing 3 tests that day, and
Oh, wow.
it was pretty crazy. But I guess as far as my predictions go, I mean, I saw there's like been flooding and stuff down there, but looks like it's supposed to be dry, and I know going to that race there is like 0 elevation whatsoever, so. I mean, I think they're in for a really surprise. I think it's going to be really muddy, and I think the bottom is going to fall out of it again, and it's going to be pretty gnarly like it was in 2017.
Yeah.
Or like the Off-Road Cup 2013.
Was that pretty nasty?
Oh, yeah, it got way short. I didn't actually ride it, but Mike Pierce posted a video of his GoPro footage from that abbreviated race, and something about he got lightheaded, and there's some point there in the video where he's just laying there on the ground.
Just total exhaustion.
Just like maybe not even conscious for a little bit there.
Seriously.
Yeah. And so anyway, yeah, very rough day.
Huh. Wow. So
that was in Eldon.
Yeah. So was your first Enduro then the Cajun Classic back in 2016?
Yes.
What is, so Cody Barnes was kind of like, yeah, that was him. His first Enduro was only like a year and a half ago. So you and him are only a few hours apart. He's almost due east of you in Illinois. Is there not a great Enduro series up there, or you just guys don't? The two of you just didn't go to him growing up at all?
Yeah, I mean, the Iowa Enduro Riders District 22 has a little bit of an Enduro series. I think it's like
District
6 rounds.
22.
Yeah, I think it's like 6 rounds, but it doesn't pay any money or anything like that. And I did one of them, and I mean, it was decent. But yeah, I mean, we don't really have an Enduro series up here. Like, it's all hair scramble stuff. And really, for most of my local racing, I go south towards you guys, the Hillbillies and Moors and stuff like that. And then we do have the OMA series, which is kind of closest to me, and yeah, they have a few rounds farther up north, but for the most part it's down south, and they're a hair scramble series as well.
Okay. I was just surprised when he said that, and then I saw your post saying 2016 was your first. I'm like, seriously? Like I don't know. And then the more enduros I do, the more I want to just do enduros, because I just kind of like that. I like the hair scrambles and, the 2 hours consistent straight up battle, and knowing where you are at, each lap position wise. But I like the enduros. I haven't done a sprint enduro yet. But like regular enduros, the idea of like going like 70 miles in a day on a bike, the transfers depending on how long they are. And then also at the same time getting like a 10-minute break where I can chat with my buds and say, oh man, that last test there sucked. Or man, that last test was awesome. Kind of the bench racing between the racing. So it's kind of like the more I do. And so I'm just that more surprised that guys like you and Cody that had done a lot of racing, just hadn't done as many enduros. So, but yeah, it's got a few comments here. It says Stephen Mentor. He said shoulder surgery is no joke. Definitely follow the doctor's directions. Sorry, I'm reading a few comments here, Logan, real quick. Craig Stagner says, "Hey Rush, I'm Stag from ORP TV." And then Kevin Allen enjoys the show. And then Mark Schaefer, comment on yours. Logan was a newbie, but Hugh. Logan was a newbie, but so much learning with his dad. Great family. Yes. That's one thing. You and your dad, Logan.
I hated Dustin.
Yes, and Dustin. Hey. Is you guys are the kindest people. Your dad is so approachable, and he loves talking. Of course, he loves talking about you and just your racing, and he's very proud of you. And I always got a kick watching your dad run around with the pit board, just trying to give you words of encouragement. Had the timer going. Super awesome dude, super likable, and just he's always been there. You can tell that he's there for you and just really passionate about what you're doing. So yeah, Logan, you're blessed in that regard. And anyways, yeah, you and
he's a farm kid. That's the soul of the earth right there.
Yeah, no, I don't. Anyways, yeah. So Logan, a little about back to Husqvarna, I guess. What bike were you riding? I guess you probably had 2 different bikes then that you were racing. What were they?
Yeah, so in the GNCCs, I was riding the XC3 class and on the 125, and I wasn't under contract to do anything like those. And that's actually my personal bike. And the only reason I was going is because I was down south, and the first 5 were gonna be like really reasonable driving distance. So I was like, man, I'm gonna be down there. I might as well go. So I ended up doing the first 2 before I got hurt. But yeah, I was riding the TC 125 and those, and then my main bike, the team bike, was the TX 300, and I was riding that and the Sprint Enduros and the National Enduros.
Oh wow! So I assumed you were going to be on a 250. So you went from a riding and racing a 125 to a 300. How's that? Is it tough to jump between the two, or I don't know. How is that? Is there much of a transition, or is this kind of riding a bicycle where you just kind of hop in it and you get 5 minutes, you're good to go?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference is the 125 just handles so much better than what the 300 is or does. And I've done everything I could to kind of make the 300 handle more like the 125, but I really think it's just the inertia of the motor. There's just so much less going on in there, so much less gyro effect. And I mean, it's not really that much lighter, and they're the same frame, but I'd say that's for sure. Like the 125 seems to just really go on a straight line. But the 300, you can definitely be a lot more lazy with it, and it's a lot more forgiving. You're not having to shift and be perfect with the clutch and things like that. And it's easier to get out of trouble if you ever make mistakes on the 300. But overall, handling wise, I'm lucky because Husky has the same frame on both the bikes, and all the parts and stuff pretty much interchange between the two. So they're pretty similar, and it's not that bad to switch between the two, but there definitely is differences. You know, when you get on the 125, first corner you go into, you definitely bog the thing out because you're missing that low end of the 300.
So yeah, you make that mistake once or twice, and you're like, oh yeah, gotta use the clutch. Okay. So yeah, I just before I let you go, I guess, do you want to give a shout out to some of your sponsors that you have?
Yeah, for sure. I'm fortunate to be backed by a lot of awesome people. So XC Gear, Enduro Engineering, Husqvarna, Kenda Tires, 60 Helmets, FXR Gear, Pro Taper, Breaking Brakes, X Brand Goggles, Wiseco Pistons, FMF, Pro Wheel, Sunstar, Motorex, Bike Graphics, and City Boots.
Awesome.
Nice list.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I want that. And then, of course, what's the best way to kind of follow you and what's going on with you?
Yeah, definitely my social media accounts on Facebook or Instagram. I try to post both of them on race reports, and I'll try to keep everybody updated on the recovery process through the injuries.
We can see you chasing the cedar around.
I want MRI and X-ray updates.
Yeah. But if you're wanting to do that, obviously on Facebook it'd be Logan Lowery, and then on Instagram it's at Logan at Lowery Lowery 173. So Logan, best of luck to you. And I was hoping to have you on. I was whenever I started the show, Logan is like, I want Logan on because he's one of my heroes, and then you got hurt, and I'm like, oh dang. And then I was like, I kept waiting for you to get back under it. I mean, you rode really well at the last National Enduro, and I was like, oh, let's make sure he's back healthy and feeling good about things. And then this happened. I'm like, oh man, Logan, that felt really bad for you. And I do hope for a quick recovery, and because you are one of the first results I look for after every race. So quick recovery. Thank you for coming on the show. I do hope to have you on the future, and we'll be in touch, okay?
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Logan. Bye.
Yep. See you, Logan.
See ya.
Yeah. So, see how he really was bummed. Whatever.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of tough injury.
Yeah. So, but super nice. You guys could tell over the phone, just super authentic, and never I never had to just kind of question what his motives were. It's just, he's Logan. That's who he is. So we've had several questions about the Off-Road Cup. You were there. How was it?
Yeah. Great event. the Levan family really knows how to put together a tight ship, and it always runs on schedule. And I need to post the video that my girlfriend took of me on the starting line because we were all distracted by this guy that couldn't get his bike started. But Frank still dropped the flag just like he was supposed to after 15 seconds. And
15 seconds apart?
No, I mean, just the 15-second thing was up, and this other guy was still getting going, and we're all looking over at him, all, 100 of us in the C class. And so...
Oh, you were in the C class?
I was, yeah.
Oh, man.
C plus 35.
Oh, okay.
My teammates were in their 30s, so I couldn't...
Yeah, I couldn't go see senior.
I couldn't go up.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we're all distracted. And so we're all looking over. And then Frank drops the flag and everybody else goes. And I'm like, oh. And then I realized I don't even have my finger on the start button. And then the second thing is I got a neutral. So you watch me go, and then and then it's running and it's still not going anywhere. And then I jam it in gear and take off. And so dead last start. But redemption was quick. I was third at the end of the first lap.
Seriously?
And and so then it was our teammate was the Natty Light Naturals.
No, Sleepy?
No, actually, Sleepy certainly did endorse us.
Did you say Natty Light?
Yeah, Natty Light Naturals. That was the name of our team.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, he had to endorse you.
Troy and Tanner Hunt, they're big Natty fans, and I just went along with it, and so that was our team name.
Yeah.
No natties were consumed during the course of the race. Yeah, at least not by me. I can't speak for anyone else. But anyway, we actually had a pretty decent day. I'd only done the off-road cup one other time, and we had a bunch of mechanical stuff go on, and so we went into it really with fairly low expectations. There were 16 teams in C35, and Troy was the second guy out. I was after me, and he had a flat tire, so that put us back down into seventh. And then I did a couple of laps while they got the tire changed. But based on our fitness, which was not, we decided just to do one lap at a time. I heard that it was about 7 miles a lap, and so we were running lap times between 22 and 25 seconds. So great format. I really enjoy that sort of thing where guys like me that aren't in that great of shape can at least throw down, a 20-some minute lap and then get a 40-minute break, assuming you don't have to go do something.
I guess I should rewind just a little bit for people that may not know. But the Off-Road Cup, what it is, it's a 9-hour team race, right? So
3 people on the team.
Did it start at 9
Starts
o'clock?
at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Ends at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. And so you're going, and it's not dictated how your team rotation is. One guy, in theory, could race for the whole team for the one race. But the idea is you guys.
But they do have an Ironman class. So if you want to Ironman it for 9 hours, there are heroes out there that do that.
So how many laps did you guys get in?
We got 23 laps in, and I think the guy that won the overall Ironman also did 23. So
the top 2 guys did, yeah. So that's cow. So I was pretty okay. So the Ironman, I'm pretty pumped about that. One of my good butt friends that I raced with quite a bit. I consider to be one of my main competitors in my class is Rick Simmons, and congratulations, Rick. That is I saw that result because they post them live, and so I checked in and like, holy cow, Rick he won. I mean, so I was pumped. Sent him a text message. I'm sure he was still in semi-comatose state by that point, racing for 9 hours. But congratulations, that is amazing. I just remember. I remember last year seeing him. I was like, I haven't asked him about it this year, but I was lapping him, or we were riding near each other, and he was still standing. I was like, how are you riding? Because it's late in the race, like 8 hours in maybe. I'm like, how are you still standing this late in the race? He's like, I can't sit, actually. It's what it is. Yeah. Too raw down there.
Little monkey butt.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, it's so terrible. I don't know why you guys do this. But when we had Jordan on last week, he Ironmanned it. I think he had an issue. He couldn't get.
I don't remember.
I haven't bugged him yet to see what happened. But then Chili. So that's who.
He got second, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what Chili's an A rider. Mm-hmm. And he loves the Ironman stuff. Like, for example, him and Jordan are going out here relatively soon to New York I think it is whenever that is, to New York to do a 24-hour race.
Oh my goodness!
Right, and so I mean that's what I mean. They enjoy
they enjoy punishment apparently.
And so the fact that Rick even beat Aaron. Anyways,
Chili.
Rick's Chili. Rick's a beast. Aaron's a beast. They're all a beast. If you do the Iron Man, you're de facto a beast. So, anyways, congratulations to you guys.
Also, props to Kirby Blauvelt. He was pitted right next to me, and I think he got.
That's right. He Iron Manned it.
Second overall for the 50+ class.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But anyway,
we'll go with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why we got pitted right in the middle of all these guys that were Iron Manning because we felt kind of guilty.
You cannot complain about anything.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a good day. And for those of you that don't know about the Off-Road Cup, I didn't race it last year, but this year they had live timing and scoring.
They did
on
last
your
year,
phones.
last 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. So on the phone. And so, you didn't have to run over to the trailer and wait for the screen to scroll through and try to figure out and then run back and try to, keep everything else going. Because that 20 minutes goes by pretty fast and
Yes.
then, the next guy's on deck. So,
I really enjoy the live timing.
So live timing, really helped. We had the gals helping us out. And they,
I guess Kaylee Lewis won the Iron Woman. So congratulations.
oh yeah,
Kaylee.
she was pitted near us also. Yeah. She kept on toughing it out. You can tell she didn't really want to go back out, but she kept going out every time. So, a girl.
Yeah, and then I guess Mark Schaefer made a comment here that Flatlander Jeremy Strentz was the third overall Ironman. So congratulations. I think so. Then he was because we mentioned third. He actually won his class though, which was Ironman, I think. And then because both Rick and Chili were both Ironman 30+.
Okay.
So you would I guess there's some wisdom with age when it comes to the Ironman. But I got a kick out of the Flatlander comment. I won't lie; it kind of burns me whenever these Forward Motion guys come and just smoke us. I'm like, you guys don't have rocks like we do. You're not supposed to do that. But
yeah.
But no, some of these guys like Adam Langner. He's the latest guy. They came and was a spoiler for few of the hillbillies. He came in and showed us what's up. Like, here's how us KC boys do it. And Linger. Sorry, but no. So yeah, lots of good racing.
So the live timing really helped, and so we crawled back up to about fourth place, and which was a lot more than we expected that we were going to be doing, and so because of the live timing and scoring, we found out we were only less than 2 minutes behind third place, and we're like, wow, it'd be really cool to be on the podium. So let's strategize a little bit here, and kept our game going so that we were good on our handoffs in and out of the pits, and everybody was ready, and we had everybody doing lookouts to make sure we knew when they were coming through timing and scoring. And so it was just a nice little element of just the teamwork part of it and for your pit crew. And so I then had a mission, and we ended up catching up for third, and we're just right there in the third, fourth line. And then it was just nigh on 5 o'clock, and there was just time for one more lap. And so since I'd been around on fastest lap times of the day, I volunteered because I still had something left, how I still had something left, I have no idea.
Yeah.
My training was just, getting out of bed, so it was surprising that I still had it in me. I kind of had the course down, and where I knew where to go fast, knew where to go slow, and I threw down the fastest lap time of my day on the last lap of the day. And I saw that I had passed third, and was comfortable with that. But then he got me passed right back, David Dans.
Uh-oh.
And so, yeah, I didn't know much about this guy. I guess he hadn't been riding for a while, and everybody chided him long enough. He decided to start racing again, and he's a fast old dude.
Yeah.
So he stuck it in on me and got past me again. So then it was on. It was last lap. Podium was on the line. And so I started being I'm
guessing by the shirt comment, I'm thinking you got him by the end. So you guys were duking it out.
So we were duking it out, and he left the door open, and I got back inside of him, and then I just put the hammer down because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to let him pass me again. I'm just going to gap him, and then he'll be tired. And so that pretty much was true. But what I didn't realize in the meantime is that I put the hammer down so hard to make sure that he didn't pass me that I ended up actually passing some guys from the Ford Motion Series, and we got second.
You got second, right on.
Right at the very, very end. I passed him, I think, somewhere around by the barn. So there wasn't too much time left.
Yeah.
Or the church or whatever they call that big structure there.
Okay.
And, but I didn't even realize that we weren't even shooting for second. So I didn't even know what number to look for or anything.
Yeah.
Because we were just trying to catch the
unexpected.
guys, right in front of us. And so we ended up, and second overall for C Vet for the day, C35 for the day. So we were super stoked on that. We had no expectations of a podium out of 16 teams, especially after my hilarious start. I'll have to post that to Facebook. That is just...
if you just dawdle in there.
Just like ADD much?
Yeah.
Those of you who know me.
So
I'm easily distracted.
Yeah. That's one thing I enjoyed about racing the off-road cup, though, is, it's an endurance race for sure, right? I mean, you could put in 3 hours of racing, but it's almost like you're training. You're doing like sprints.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's just sprints, and you get to take a break, and everybody's pitted next to each other, and everybody helps each other if you got a flat tire, or if you need, like, hey, do you have a plug? Because I was getting a flat tire every lap the last time around, and so fortunately we didn't have any mechanicals, which really helped us besides that one flat tire. But just other people, when Kirby would come in, and Linda was there to help him, but she didn't know as much as we did. And so we're just like, okay, you hold this gas cap and I'm going to pour this in here, and he's going to get a drink, and then boom, just send him right back out. So we were his de facto pit crew just because he was next to us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I love about, I've mentioned this, I think it comes up every show. That's what I love about the off-road community. It's a community. A lot of places can call themselves a community or whatever. But I really feel like when you go to a race, it's like a little town where it's like cheers. Everybody knows your name, and there are no strangers. And if there is, go up and introduce yourself.
Yeah, and you won't be.
And 9 times out of 10, they're going to be more than welcoming, and they're going to want to talk to you just as much as you want to talk to them. And so that's what I love about this community. That's what got me doing this. I'm a little bit obsessive about stuff, and so I enjoy just going out to the races and just getting to meet people.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
And that's what's great about this. And anyways, so that's really what the Off-Road Cup is all about: is getting together, getting a team. You're not chasing points. It's a one-off.
Nope.
You're there to have fun, and it's a really great event. And I didn't do it this year. It's weekend of Easter, and so
the day before Easter is always when it's run.
So I took this year off. Did a little more focus on the Easter stuff this year, and but hope to be back in the next year.
Oh yeah, I definitely will do it again. I mean, it's just a very well run event. It's got all the fun elements, and this year it helped also because it was just great weather. It wasn't dusty, and when it did get dusty, it blew away, and it didn't. I mean, it was just a very good day, and lots of different elements. I mean, some soft, ruddy stuff. There was some mud. There's some water. There's some fast stuff. There's super rocky stuff. There's one particularly low spanning tree that I didn't particularly care for because I whacked my noggin on it.
You did too.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned Jacob earlier. I don't know if you'd caught that. He got a little fracture in his spine.
Oh, okay. So that happened at the Off-Road Cup?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they said it was a low-hanging tree across the trail in the creek.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The first 2 or 3 laps I had traffic, and so I wasn't going that fast. But then finally I had an open stretch, and I'm used to just ducking down. It's just like, well, if the handlebars are going under, then the rest of the bike and me will go under. But I just didn't get down far enough or something. And yeah, it was neck.
Huh.
I mean, it was instant. Yeah,
pain
in the neck. So that was my only
gripe.
Yeah, my only gripe, and partly my fault. After that, I gave it a lot more respect.
Yeah, for sure. But no, that was a good time. And if you want to keep up kind of what's going on, number one, Facebook, the Off-Road Cup. Type in those things, you'll find it. They also have the website, theoffroadcup.com, I believe it is. So
And the other
next
cool
year.
thing is a lot of photographers come and you get a lot of pictures get taken.
There's always picture overload here.
Yeah. I think that's all the guys that went to and gals that went to the races. I think that's all we did the first. Well, I guess
me too.
By the time they started posting them like 2 days after the race or so, that's all we did all evening.
There's probably 3,000 to 4,000 photos out there right now of the off-road cup. So, and of course, you flipping through them all and just there's some pretty awesome. The D-Day Adventure Park is a paintball place and has all kinds of military equipment. And there's like this. You mentioned this church thing that you rode through. So there's people taking pictures of you going through that thing.
Yeah, but it's made out of styrofoam, so you don't really have to worry about like running into the wall or whatever.
I like how right about handlebar height, it's
big chunks.
It's chunks about 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah, it gets speed up a little bit.
And then there's quite a few shots people ripping around a helicopter.
Yeah, they got an old Huey kind of staged there, so we always go around the helicopter.
Yeah,
actually, that turned into a nice little rutted out berm. Yeah, it burned up really nice. And so you could come out of the church and just get on the throttle and just rail around the corner. And then it was down that hill that was running water. And I will be scouting that out next time for alternate lines because I was really needing to get around a kid and I just ran out of real estate and I just had to wait. And just, particularly towards later in the race, I was less patient than usual.
So I was thinking, because 2 years ago when they raced their last, we went up that hill and then left around the helicopter. So I guess you guys were running opposite.
Yeah, that particular section went opposite, but a lot of the track was the same.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, so somehow they switched it around a little bit.
Yeah. Well, cool. And then so coming up this weekend is, we talked about it briefly already, the National Enduro. And so at Cajun Classic, that should be fun. I'm curious if Stu Baylor kind of keeps up his streak. He's done really well. Hopefully he stays healthy. He's had some kind of knee issues this year. And so fingers crossed, because I love watching that guy and love just kind of the entertainment factor that he brings to the off-road world. And then we'll be doing our own little enduro down in Texas at the Bartow Ranch. So it'll be my first time to race in Texas. It's just across the border, but Texas nonetheless. And so looking forward to it. I'm curious if the trees. Have you ever raced in Oklahoma? Or
not besides the Off-Road Cup.
Okay, because the Off-Road Cup's not terrible as far as the trees go. But like Zinc Ranch, those trees are grabby. And so I was watching some videos of Bartow Ranch, and they look about the same. So hopefully I don't come home with any ripped gear. But because, man, there are some stiff trees, the little scrub oaks or whatever. So looking forward to that. It'll be out there. If anybody out there is watching those races or at those races, feel free to say hi. I'll try to have this banner here with me, hang on the side of the trailer. So if you see that, that's where I'll be. But that's what's going on. Russ, any parting words of wisdom for us? I'm putting you on the spot.
Wear your gear.
Huh?
Wear your gear. Wear as much gear as possible that you can stand. I mean, I get hot, and that's why I like doing winter races more than summer, but wear your gear. Keep yourself from getting hurt in the first place. When you do get injured, like we were talking with Logan earlier.
What gear do you wear?
I have prescription CTI knee braces, SG 10 or 12 boots. Okay. I wear padded shorts so that
check for me so far.
Yeah.
I have the Mobius. I have the Garnet SG12s. I have football shorts because I think they offered better protection than I could find on stuff like through other off-road clothes manufacturers. So I went down to Play It Again Sports, tried on a bunch of different football shorts, little compression shorts,
Because it's, particularly around here, we do so much riding on rocks, and, rocks really hurt a lot.
I wanted
when you
to
fall
protect
down.
my hip bones and my tailbone.
So anytime you can go down and it just goes clack, clack, that's what I like, because that means my armor's doing its job.
Yep.
And then I wear a, let's see, what was it called? Like shock. It's a Troy Lee Designs. I think it's part number 54, 55. I've got a black one and a white one.
What is it?
It's a kind of an exoskeleton that wraps more around your ribs, and it also has the parts for the arm and the shoulder a little bit more aggressively, because for me, my shoulders are part of my guidance system, particularly through trees, and so I've got to have those arm pieces. They're always scuffed up.
Because I wear it's called the a Turby's Cosmo jacket. So it's like a shoulder pads and then elbow pads kind of built in.
What I ended up doing was just zip tying the elbow guards to the chest protectors so that they don't slide down my arm.
Yeah.
But I didn't want one of those all-inclusive things because it seemed like it would be more hot because of the...
Well, that's why I like what I have, because it's when you don't... Sometimes I'll just wear it and it looks like it only goes across the top. It doesn't actually come down at all.
Okay.
So then I'll wear like a tank top underneath it, something kind of loose and light. And then I wear... over that, I wear the Liat Fusion 2.0, which is like a integrated chest protector / neck brace.
Oh, right.
So if you can protect it, only thing I don't wear is like a kidney belt or something like that.
Yeah, I've gone both ways with that, and they've, I guess, kind of fallen out of favor. Maybe the suspensions got better from the 70s. I think that's most of the reason why guys stopped wearing kidney belts, because the suspensions got better.
Not as much bouncing. Yeah,
I've tried them, but I don't know very many people that use them.
Yeah,
but and then I've done a decent helmet. I just retired this Suomi after this race, and then I've got a Bell Carbon Motor 9, and then I'm shopping for another helmet right now.
Awesome. So yeah, wear your gear. And then what were we gonna say about? So gear number 1 and number 2 was what?
Oh yeah, just when you get injured, like we were talking earlier with Logan, it sounds like he didn't even get an MRI for where the first facility he was at. It doesn't sound like they even got him an MRI, so I don't really think they had enough information to make an informed decision when he was initially evaluated. So, I guess from a medical standpoint, and my own just personal experience is, get the MRI, because it's always soft tissue. I mean, sure, start with the x-ray because they're less expensive. But if the x-ray is negative or doesn't show that much and there's obviously something wrong and it hurts a lot and it's swollen and something ain't right or something isn't working, MRI.
Do it.
Yeah, get it. That gets you the information to make an informed decision.
Stamp it. All right. Well, good. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
You bet.
I do appreciate it. And so, yeah, this is Wire Rush Racing Enduro Talk with Charlie Hawkins and Russ Dirksen, a.k.a. Doc. Anyways, it's Charlie. I'll see you later. Bye.